I took back my son's birthday gift, and I couldn't help but feel relieved. My 12-year-old son, Jake, had been pleading for the newest iPhone for months. His birthday was around the corner, and even though money was tight, I scraped together enough to buy the phone he'd been dreaming about. When he opened the box, his expression lit up for about 3 seconds before it crashed. "Dad, this is just the normal iPhone, not the Pro Max," he complained without lifting his eyes from his old phone. "Tommy's dad bought him the Pro Max. This one's basically pointless." My stomach dropped. I had taken extra shifts for 2 whole months just to afford the standard model. When I gently suggested he could upgrade the following year, he rolled his eyes and muttered about being embarrassed to show it to his friends. That was the moment I decided I was returning it. The next morning, I stood in the return line at the electronics store when I overheard a quiet conversation behind me. A teenage girl, maybe 16, was speaking softly to her younger brother. "I'm really sorry, Marcus. I know you wanted a phone for your birthday. But with Mom in the hospital, I can't afford one right now," she whispered. "Maybe after I get more hours." The boy, who looked no older than 14, just squeezed her hand and nodded. "It's okay, Sarah. Mom getting better matters way more than a phone. I can use the library computers for school anyway." I turned to look at them. The girl had shadows under her eyes and was wearing worn scrubs, probably straight from her job. Her brother's sneakers had holes in them, yet he was the one trying to make her smile, joking about how phones turn people antisocial. And it hit me. My son had complained about receiving a $700 phone because it wasn't the $200 model, while this kid was grateful for nothing and still trying to comfort his sister, who was clearly exhausted from carrying the weight of everything. I stepped out of line and approached them. "Excuse me," I said to the girl. "I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Is today his birthday?" She looked startled, maybe worried I was about to complain. "It was yesterday, actually. We're just browsing." I held up the iPhone box. "This is a little strange, but I bought this for my son and he wasn't happy with it. The store won't let me swap models, just return it. I'd hate for it to go unused. Would your brother like it?" They both stared as if I had spoken another language. The boy shook his head quickly. "No, sir, we can't take that. It costs too much." "It won't cost me anything," I said gently. "I'm returning it either way. Honestly, you'd be helping me out. I don't want something perfectly good to sit in a warehouse." The girl's eyes began to shine. "Sir, are you sure? We can't pay you." "I'm not asking you to," I replied. "Think of it as a birthday present from someone who understands being the older sibling." I remembered all the times I'd looked after my younger sister when our parents were working non-stop. The boy looked between us, confused. "Why would you do something like this for people you don't even know?" I smiled and placed the box in his hands. The girl broke down crying and hugged me so tightly I almost lost my breath. When I got back to my car, I called Jake. The moment I told him I'd returned the phone, he started complaining, but I cut him off. "We're going to have a serious talk about gratitude when I get home." As I pulled out of the parking lot, saw the siblings sitting on a bench outside. The boy was opening the box slowly, like he was handling something precious, and his sister was helping him figure out the setup. The pure happiness on his face, like he had won something priceless, made me realize my own son had never shown that kind of joy over anything in his life.